Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for an informative and exciting webinar to discover the latest news on Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours and Emerald Cruises. My name is Johanna de Guzman. I'm the Manager of Industry Relations for North American Travel Trade Membership here at CLIA, and I'm going to quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run for about 40 to 45 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global. It is my pleasure to introduce your speaker, Brandon Oscarson. Brandon is a seasoned professional, deeply passionate about the cruise industry, boasting over a year of dedicated service with Scenic and Emerald Cruises and a total of over 15 years of rich experience in the field. His journey began with a profound love for travel and exploration, eventually leading him to carve a successful career in various roles within the cruise sector. Brandon's experience spans sales expertise, relationship building, and a deep understanding of industry dynamics, making him a well-rounded and valuable asset in the industry. And with that, take it away, Brandon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And here, let me turn on my camera so you can put a face with a name. There I am. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Let's talk Scenic and Emerald. So we're one company. Internally, we go by Scenic Group, but we have two brands. We have Scenic being our ultra luxury, all-inclusive brand. And then we have Emerald, which is our contemporary luxury, mostly inclusive brand. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about both river and yacht today because both brands have river cruise vessels. We have 18 ships throughout Europe and Southeast Asia, and we also have 4 yachts cruising all around the world. For a brief bit of history about us, we started back in 1986 as a small tour operation. You can tell by the sunglasses and the mustache, that's definitely the 80s. Well, here we are in 2024, with a lot of ambition behind us. We have grown into this big, robust company with all these beautiful cruise ships and an unparalleled experience, especially in the river cruise sector. And again, we have Scenic, we're going to start off by talking about, which is our ultra luxury, all-inclusive brand. And a question I'm often asked is, what is your target customer? Then here's just a snapshot, and I'll make sure to share a PDF so that you can have this in case you're taking notes and you can't get all this down. But we're looking at couples about 55 plus, retired or high earners around 100,000 plus a year, people who love art and culture. I always say that Scenic is perfect for the people who like the finer things in life. Those who want to pay for everything up front and don't want to be nickeled and dimed and signed for everything along the way, not because of the cost, just because they want a smooth, relaxed, seamless process, and that's where we excel. So talking about Scenic, we'll start off with our yachts. We have the Scenic Eclipse and the Eclipse 2. The Eclipse launched in 2019. The Eclipse 2 just launched last year. These vessels only hold 228 guests maximum, 10 restaurants, 9 bars and lounges, 2 helicopters on each vessel, and they each have their own submersible. And they have won so many awards in such a short amount of time. Just to give you an idea, this is just over the last 2 to 3 years of awards that we have received. Now, these ships were built for expedition, and that screen is thinking, there we go. These ships were built for expedition, but you can do a little bit of everything with us. They are Polar Class 6. We go to Antarctica. We have, again, an unrivaled experience in that part of the world. But we also have discovery voyages where you're going to have some expedition, but you're also going to see some big and beautiful cities along the way. However, if you want to take a cruise through Italy, actually this month we have an Italian cruise that's going, or you want to cruise the Caribbean or the Bahamas, we do all of that as well. Matter of fact, we're going to have a cruise this October, 13 nights, New York to Nassau, or 9 nights, Miami to Nassau. So keep your eyes open for that. Now, these ships were built with some pretty incredible technology, very impressive. Our stabilizers are 60% larger than they need to be for vessels of this size. This makes for a much more comfortable cruising experience when you're in choppy waters. Even when we cross the Drake's Passage and we're dealing with 7 to 13-foot swells, you're going to feel those swells, but those stabilizers create a more comfortable experience. We are an all-inclusive product. All of your top shelf spirits and wines all included. Butler service is included for river and for our yachts, and the butlers take phenomenal care of our guests. All of your excursions, the kayaks, zodiacs, paddle boards, all of this is included. We even have some really wonderful spa amenities that are included. And to give you an idea of what a room is going to look like, we don't have any inside staterooms. Everybody has a balcony on the Eclipse, and they range between 345 to 420 square feet in our veranda suite. I love to boast about the beds that we have on board. They are custom made for Scenic and also for our Emerald yachts. You have down comforters, down pillows, Egyptian cotton sheets, everything you need to make sure that you have the most comfortable sleeping experience while you're on board. The beds on the Eclipse and Eclipse 2 are also adjustable. The head and the feet operate independently on each side of the bed so that our guests can, again, be more comfortable while they're traveling. And we have beautifully appointed suites on board. We don't have any staterooms. Everything is a suite. Every category has a butler, and everybody has one of these wonderful balconies. If they want to do some in-room dining and they want to sit out on their balcony, they're more than welcome to do that. We don't find a lot of that in Antarctica, but there are warm places we cruise where we're able to do that. We also have a lot of other suites. Our owner's one-bedroom suite is 2,100 square feet. It has spa amenities within it. It is very large, very spacious. You have a walk-in closet, separate living and sleeping area. And we also have spa suites that have jetted bathtubs in them and come with a complimentary 1-hour spa treatment for each guest that is in that room. We have our Scenic Lounge. This is where you go to relax, enjoy some entertainment with the cruise managers. We also have a theater, but there are nights they do game nights and all kinds of other fun things. One thing I like to talk about with our Scenic Lounge is we refer to this as the whiskey bar on board. We have over 135 different whiskeys on board. Our bartenders will do an around the world whiskey tasting. Now, I don't think I've seen anyone get past 8, but if you want to try all 135, have at it. You are more than welcome to do so. Not a big whiskey drinker, 25 top shelf bourbons, lots of tequila, amazing wines. I've seen the bartenders do wine tastings on board as well. Now, another thing I love is that these bartenders are professional mixologists. So they have their own signature cocktails and mocktails that they have served. If you want a fun and fancy drink that is lit on fire, has smoke on top of it, and a little performance before you get the drink, they'll do that for you. Or say you're not in the mood to have a drink this particular day or evening, they will make one of their signature mocktails so that you're still able to have a fun and unique experience while you're in the lounge. I did mention that we have 10 restaurants. I'm not going to talk about all of them because that would take a long time, but there's a couple here that I love to get into. On the upper left-hand side is Lumiere. Lumiere is our French dining experience. When you're seated here, you're going to have a 9-course meal paired with 6 different wines throughout the evening. Now, these wines are served by a sommelier who is going to come out and let you know why he selected this particular wine for the next entree that is coming out. And that if you would like something else, he'd be more than happy to go and get it for you. You're wrong, but he'd be more than happy to go and get it for you. It creates for an elevated experience. Now, just below that, we have Coco's. Coco's is 3 restaurants rolled into one. When you first walk in, you're going to be at our sushi bar. It is breathtaking because everything here was imported from Japan. You get halfway into the restaurant, and it's an Asian fusion dining experience. And then you go all the way to the back, and that's our night market. It's actually a teppanyaki bar. but we do things a little different with Scenic. At the teppanyaki bar, you can have Asian food, or it's going to be Middle Eastern or Indian cuisine. The menu rotates every 3 days. Matter of fact, the menus on board the ship at every restaurant rotates every 3 days and doesn't repeat for 21 days. Oh, pardon me. Did my screen disappear? Are we still good? Excuse me
You're
one
still good.
moment. All
You're
right,
still
sorry.
good.
Something popped up on my screen. Apologize, everybody. So I was saying that the menus rotate every 3 days and doesn't repeat for 21 days because we do have some guests who cruise with us for 21 days or longer, and we want them to have unique dining experiences. I did mention we have some included spa amenities. You have the infrared loungers, the heated loungers. You can purchase a massage or a manicure and pedicure. We have an infrared sauna as well as a cool dipping pool. Again, some of these things are actually included, so you don't have to add it on and pay an additional price to utilize the spa. We do have guests who want to stay fit and active while they're cruising with us. We have a very good fitness center on board. You have phenomenal state-of-the-art cardio equipment. All the way in the back on the right-hand side is a cable resistance training system that you can get an entire full body workout on. And then what we can't see on the back to the left would be some dumbbells, as well as some fitness balls and some resistant bands. And there's also a water station there. You can have sparkling water or still water while you're working out. That's up to you. They're both there. Directly across from the fitness center on the other side of the ship, we have a yoga, Pilates, and meditation studio. We do guided classes in here. As you can see, we have some unique and fun classes that we offer to, again, for unique experiences while you're cruising with us. We have 2 helicopters and a submersible on board. So when we're somewhere like Antarctica, we can truly offer unique experiences. And the submersible, it only goes about 200 meters down. You know, we're looking to explore some of the sea life that's a little closer to the surface. We're definitely not looking for the Titanic. And all of your excursions are included. If you go to Antarctica or the Arctics with us, we do have military grade Zodiacs on board. That's included. Kayaks, paddle boards. If you're a little more adventurous and you want to get out in the water, you can do that with us. That is included. We even include your polar boots for those regions, and we will give you a parka that is yours to take home as well. I love this itinerary because this is where you're going to see the emperor penguins, but I also like to use this as an example to talk about why you want to cross the Drake's Passage. Some people are afraid of that particular part of getting over to Antarctica because you've heard a lot of different stories. However, with us, again, it's going to be more comfortable, and that is your opportunity to learn about the place that you're getting ready to visit. So it takes about 36 to 48 hours to complete that journey. And this is where our discovery team is going to be in the theater for those couple of days, giving you education on the Antarctica region and the different things that you're going to see, so that when you arrive, you're not only prepared for an exciting adventure, but you understand the environment and the nature that you're walking into. Now, I had mentioned this earlier. This is going to be this October, the 12th. New York to Bermuda, and then it looks like on the 16th, we have Bermuda to Nassau. So we do have a Bahamas cruise that is operated this year. If you have any clients that are interested, definitely keep an eye out for this. And if you're interested in doing it, talk to myself or your own regional sales director and let them know that you would like to do this because it's close to home. Now, we all know that Expedition has been extremely popular over the last couple of years. It's kind of been the boom in our industry. We are so excited that this year we are going to the Kimberley in Australia. You have natural phenomena here that does not occur anywhere else in the world. Like on the right, that is a horizontal waterfall. It's a passage between cliffs in the ocean, where as the tides rise and go down, It looks like a waterfall from above. There's also the oldest cave writings in existence right here in this region. This is northwestern Australia. You can only get here with a ship or a Zodiac. And now we can access a lot of areas here because of our helicopters. Some places you can't get to without a helicopter. So again, our program is unrivaled in this industry, especially for this region and this new expedition type of voyage. And on top of that, I'll mention if you have clients who love fishing, we do a hella fishing experience to the Barramundi River. You can only get there with the helicopter, and they have giant fish that our guests can pull out. All right, moving away from our scenic yachts, let's talk scenic river. I love river cruising. I have been on 13 river cruises in the last 12 years, and the last 2 of them have been with Scenic, and it has truly been one of the most amazing river cruises of my entire life. We really do set ourselves apart, and I'm going to talk about the things that we do that make us so special in this region. So we've been in business for over 10 years on the rivers. This is just, again, some of the awards that we have brought to the table over the last 2 to 3 years. Now, I love the layout of our rooms. We are on average between 205 to 225 square feet. You have a sun lounge feature with a window that drops halfway down to give you that nice open air experience. And what I love about this is it's not a veranda, because a veranda is going to take up a big part of your room. With this, you have all of that square footage within your actual stateroom. The rooms are beautifully appointed. We do offer in-room dining. Yes, we have butlers, again, from your entry level up to the top. So if you want to order something to eat in your room, your butler can bring it to you. Now, again, with all the river cruises I've been on, I'm a coffee person. When I wake up, I've got to have a cup of coffee. And for the most part, everybody else, you have to go up to the lounge, to the beautiful espresso machine and make your cup of coffee, and you can carry it back to your room. Well, with us, you can call your butler and say, please bring me a cup of coffee, and they'll be more than happy to do that for you. They also offer complimentary laundry service. And funny enough, you'll get the documents for the selling, and it'll say 3 kilos of laundry. Well, I asked my last butler, I was like, do you weigh the laundry? And he looked at me, he said, do you think I weigh laundry? If you give me more than 3 kilos, I'm going to weigh it. It could be 20 kilos, and I'm going to just wash it, not weigh it. So we offer complimentary laundry service. Just another one of our rooms, a royal balcony suite with 2 of those windows that drop down for that nice open air experience in your room. And I love the amenities that we offer on board. Just like everybody else, we have our main bar and lounge for our cruise manager meetings, our evening entertainment, and to get to know everyone on board. We have massage services that can be purchased on board. But we also have these wonderful salt therapy lounges. This is open 24/7. It's a quiet space on the lower deck. The floors and the walls are made out of Himalayan salt. So you have microscopic salt particles floating through the air, which is really good for opening up your lungs and your airways. River cruising tends to bring a very active clientele. So we have a fitness center on board for those who want to keep up with a fitness regimen while they're cruising. We also offer e-bikes. This is such a big ticket item in the river cruise industry. People love to go on bike rides, but when they see the e-bikes, they want to go even more, especially if you're on the Danube and you have the opportunity to do the 23-mile bike ride from Dürnstein to Melk. It's an even more special experience when you don't have to do quite as much work to get from point A to point B. Now, on board Scenic, we do have our main dining room. Crystal dining, this is where you're going to have cuisine from the regions we're cruising through with lunch and dinner. People who travel tend to be foodies, so we want them to have the opportunity to taste the cultures that they're experiencing while we're cruising through them. But then we also have a different restaurant on the other side of the lounge at the very front of the ship. It's either going to be Table La Rive, Table d'Or, or Portobello's. It depends on which region we're cruising in, but it's a tasting menu. And there's only about 24 people who can be seated here, so reservations are required, but we do make sure everybody gets to experience it. Now, our ships only hold 160 people max. Now, one thing I will mention is that on the Seine River for Paris and Normandy, we only have 124 guests, and we're the only cruise company in this entire industry that can go from Paris all the way out to the Normandy beaches. We disembark in on floor. Everybody else disembarks in Tournon, which is a 2-hour motor coach. We get all the way to the Normandy beaches, which allows us a full day of excursions at the Normandy beaches, which is a much more comfortable and better setup for anyone who's been to that region or wants to see that region. Now, I did mention that we do some things extra special. The dining is next level. I've never had better dining on any other line. I will say that what really sets us apart for me is our Scenic Enrich program. We are phenomenal on board, but what we do off ship is also extra special. Every itinerary we offer, be it on our yachts or on river, we're going to include an elevated experience that anybody else would charge for. And in the river cruise industry, everybody else does charge. And I'll give you some examples. If you're going to do the Danube, every cruise line offers a Mozart and Strauss concert in Vienna. It's the birthplace of classical music, and it is an experience of a lifetime. I've done it a couple of times, and in the past, the cruises I went on, the opera houses that I went to, I was there along with maybe another cruise ship and a couple of tour buses. So it was kind of full, which is not bad, but it was kind of full. Well, we go to the Liechtenstein Palace. They have a concert hall and hold a private concert just for the Scenic guests who are on board that ship that day. So we have our own private classical Mozart and Strauss concert at a palace. I will say it is truly an elevated experience. Now, I love classical music. I grew up on it. I particularly love strings. I will tell you, when we were in Bordeaux last year, we went to a chateau one evening. And then we get to the chateau and they serve us the local wines and champagne that they made there. And then they escort us to one of their wine halls that they have converted into a concert hall. And we were able to attend a string quartet. That was phenomenal. But we do something special like that everywhere we go. Again, creating those memories for life. Just a snapshot of the rivers we cruise on throughout Europe. We also cruise the Mekong Delta through Vietnam and Cambodia. For me, that's my favorite river cruise I've ever done. I've been over there twice. I will tell you that Scenic and Emerald have the most beautiful, modern and luxurious vessels in this entire region. The Scenic Spirit only holds 68 guests, so it's a very intimate river cruising experience. Moving over from Scenic into Emerald. Let's talk about our demographics there. It's a little bit younger. In Emerald, we are looking at your older millennials and your Gen Xers for the most part. Those who, again, like the finer things in life. We're really good with solo travelers, couples between 40 and 45 plus, shops for high-end brands, and likes boutique hotels. We'll start off by talking river this time. These ships are amazing. They hold a maximum of 180 guests, but rooms are between 160 to 180 square feet on average. And again, we have gone with that sun lounge feature. Beautifully appointed rooms, nice and spacious so that you don't have a balcony that's cutting into that square footage. All of that stays in your room so that you feel that you have that nice spacious area to relax in when you decide to retire for the end of the day. We do have phenomenal amenities on board. Yes, there's tic-tac-toe up on the sun deck. You can have a massage while you're cruising with us. We also have this amazing indoor heated pool. Now, you have a retractable roof, so during the summertime, we can open it up and let the sun in. During Christmas market cruises, we can close it up and keep it nice and warm for our guests who would like to utilize it. In the evenings, we raise up the bottom of the pool, dry everything out, and we turn it into a cinema. We'll have popcorn, soda, and snacks available for our guests who want to hang out in the evening and watch a movie back there. And up on the sun deck, we also have a small putting green, as well as a walking track, so that our guests who want to get a little exercise while we're cruising, they can do that. And those who want to putt around, they can do that as well. And just like Scenic, we're going to serve cuisine from the regions we're cruising through for lunch and dinner. Breakfast is always standard breakfast options. Now, Emerald is not all inclusive, it's mostly inclusive. So with dinner and lunch, you're going to have wine from the regions we're cruising through. You're also going to have included beer and soda. The wines are also included. So those are the inclusions there. But with Emerald, we also include your gratuities for your staff and for your tour guides. Your airport transfers are included. Whether or not you purchased air with us on embarkation and disembarkation, it's included. If you're doing our land with us, it's included. So Emerald has a ton of value. And on top of that, we have a variety of included excursions. Our Emerald Plus, when you're going through the documents, you'll see Emerald Plus. That means that that is included. Emerald Active is also included. Discover More is where we expand, we branch out, and we have some additional excursions that our guests are welcome to purchase if they would like to do something different that is offered complimentary on that particular day. So again, we have a lot of variety, but we have so much value in what we do. And in the evenings, we bring local singers, dancers, and musicians on board to perform for our guests, bringing those cultural experiences on board our vessels. We cruise Europe. We also cruise the Mekong Delta. The Emerald Harmony on the Vietnam and Cambodia itinerary only holds 84 guests. And again, one of the most beautiful and luxurious vessels on this particular river. And I say I've been over there twice, but when you go to that part of the world, you're running around for the day, you want great cultural experiences, but when you lay your head down to rest at night, you don't want cultural experiences anymore. You want the comforts you have at home, and we bring that with our ships. Stepping away from our emerald rivers, let's talk about these beautiful yachts that we have created. These are super yachts. There's only 50 rooms on board, 100 guests maximum. Again, there are no inside staterooms. Everybody has a view. As a matter of fact, entry level is on deck 3, so it's a pier view. It's not even an ocean view. And these ships have only been around for a couple of years, and they have won so many awards. They are warm water destination vessels only. Sorry, that jumped on me. There we go. They only cruise warm waters, turquoise waters everywhere we go. Now, if you're looking at the Red Sea there, probably not going to happen this year, but we have some really beautiful plans for the Red Sea and the Seychelles in 25 and 26. Now, we have 2 of these vessels. The Azora, which launched in 2022, and it won Cruise Critic for the best new luxury ship of the year. And then we launched the Sakara last year, and it won the exact same award. These ships are absolutely breathtaking, and the experience on board is phenomenal. You feel like you're on your own private yacht. And again, we have the custom-made beds, Egyptian cotton sheets, down comforters, down pillows. By the way, if your clients are allergic to down, give us a heads up. We'll go ahead and swap it out because we want them to be able to breathe while they're sleeping at night. So we can take care of that as well. We have our Amici Bar and Lounge where you can go for your cruise manager meetings. Your evening entertainment will be here or up at the sky deck. It's not quite like a river cruise. You don't find everybody heading down to the lounge in the evening. There's so many wonderful places to spread out. And again, that gives you that really nice experience like you are on your own private yacht. Now, being a small vessel, we have 1 dining room. It is phenomenal. The dining experience is next level. There is a buffet for breakfast and lunch, wonderful breakfast options. You also have a few sit-down items. You can order from a menu for breakfast. Dinner is a sit-down menu only. And on one side of the menu, you're going to have your chef's recommendations, which will always be beef, chicken, fish, and vegetarian options. On the other side, you'll have staples that are available any given evening. And I did mention these are warm water destination vessels only, so everybody wants to dine outside. And dining is open, so people aren't all rushing at the same time to be there. It allows you, if you have a place you like to sit outside, to go at the time you like to go and sit where you would like to sit with the most beautiful views you're going to have anywhere. The Sky Bar up at the top, on our top deck, you have a bartender to take care of you. We are all inclusive with drinks as of last month. So it's another way that we've elevated the experience on board. And again, we do also include gratuities and airport transfers with our Emerald yachts, but now we are all inclusive with drinks as well. We have a hot tub up at the Sky Bar. It's not too hot. Again, we're in those warm water destinations, but a lot of guests will either hang out here during the day instead of going onto shore, or they'll walk over and enjoy the aqua pool and cafe. They'll spread out and have a nice little experience there. Now, the cafe is open from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. And you can get pizzas, burgers, sandwiches, salads. They even have gelato and an espresso machine. So if you want to order some specialty coffee drinks, hot or iced, they'll take care of you very well right there. And just like all of our other ships, we have a fitness center on board for our guests who are looking to keep up with their fitness regimen while they're cruising with us. This is a guest favorite on board, our marina platform. So we have 2 floating platforms off the back of the ship, and then we have included kayaks, paddle boards, an aqua glide trampoline. We even have sea bobs. And if you don't know what sea bobs are, you kind of lean on the front of them and you hold on to these handles and push a button and it'll drag you through the water. And then you hit the turbo button, it'll drag you under the water and pop you up the other side. 3 of them, complimentary. Now, we do have a diverse portfolio of guests on board, but I will share with you, I had a friend on board, she was 82 years old, and she was on the Aquaglide trampoline more than anybody else that entire sailing. So everybody enjoys what we offer on board. I'm really excited to talk about this. We just announced this last month, the launch of our 2nd generation of these wonderful Emerald yachts. It's going to be our Emerald CLIA. She comes out in April of 2026. She'll be over in the Mediterranean area for the first part of the year, and then we'll move up to the Red Sea and Seychelles. This is a different type of vessel. It's a little bigger. We're going to 128 guests, and we've even enhanced the marina platform off the back where we have a water slide for our guests to use now. There's also going to be a 2nd restaurant. It's going to be like our night market on board the Scenic Eclipse vessels. And we have some nice extras with the fitness center that opens up to the sea for our guests to climb in and out if they would like, and have that nice open air experience while they're working out. And here you go. The Adriatic, not the Mediterranean, is where it will be April through October, and then move on from there. And you can also see where our other ships are going to be during 26 and 27 as well. Now, to just highlight one of these itineraries, Eastern Caribbean with St. Bart's. I mean, when we go to St. Bart's, it is a next level experience. When we're coming off the yacht, going onto land, we have our e-bikes there for our guests who want to cruise around and explore the city, or let's say town. But everybody is like, are you coming off of that ship? Because it is so breathtaking. It is such an amazing experience. But this is one of the itineraries that we'll be offering next year, or later this year, actually. All right, let's talk about some things that we have available for our travel partners with Scenic and Emerald. We do have a Travel Advisor Academy. If you're not registered with us, go to scenicusa.com and make sure to go to our Travel Advisor portal and get registered with us. That will give you access to our academy where you can deep dive to learn more about our products, the different things that we offer on board our ships, but we will also give you access to Expressbook, where you can go in and manage your clients' bookings from beginning to end. You can always call in. We're more than happy to talk to you. We have a wonderful call center and they'll take amazing care of you, but sometimes it's a lot easier to jump in and take care of everything on your own. And you can go from creating an invoice to making a deposit to your final payment on your own if that's how you prefer to work. We are also wonderful to work with when it comes to group travel. We have no deposit requirements up front to take out group space with us. We will also allocate space to your group. If you call me up and say you need 10 rooms for 20 people, we're going to go ahead and put that group together. We're going to take out 10 rooms, mixed inventory, and allow you time to start working that. We're going to have myself or one of my colleagues work with you to promote and build that group, make it successful, and we have one tour conductor credit for every 9 full paying guests. Now that's on our River product, and on the Duro, it's 1 for every 11. That ship's a little smaller and it's very popular. It fills up very, very quickly. And right now we have our double group savings in place. This is Travel Advisor Appreciation Month. We want to show appreciation to you and your clients by doubling the group savings. So it's up to $400 per person for Emerald on all river sailings, and up to $1,000 per person on all Scenic Eclipse sailings. So there's some really incredible value to get your clients on board and cruising with us now. Just a snapshot, here is the team that takes care of the US. Up at the top left, we have Liz, who is our VP of Sales. Manny is our Senior Director of Field Sales, and Kayla Corbett, she takes care of national accounts. And there the rest of my team is spread throughout the country. If you don't get that too quickly, go ahead and scan that QR code right there. That QR code is going to open up your regional sales directors and where they're located, and it will also give you access to lots of other resources for marketing, promoting, and learning more about Scenic and Emerald. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy that you joined me today. I am ready to take questions. I don't know if people can unmute themselves, but I'm ready to take questions.
Hey, Brandon, it's Joe. Thank you, first of all, for a great presentation. You included invaluable information for all of our travel advisors, and I'm sure that they will be definitely taking advantage of contacting you and your team so that they can get some of their clients on Scenic and Emerald. I think a good place to start is speaking about all those great excursions, the polar expeditions and everything like, or the all of the water sports that you spoke about. For any of the excursions, is that included in their fees? Is it first come, first served? Do they need to make a reservation? How would someone go about making or taking advantage of all those excursions, both at port and on the ship?
So with Emerald, for a 7-night yacht cruise, you're going to have about 4 included excursions on a 7-night sailing. And we're pretty easy to work with excursions. You can pre-book them, but we also leave space available for those who didn't plan ahead and are a little more last minute with their decision making. So that can be done on board as well. It allows flexibility for different types of clients.
That's great to hear. And speaking of different types of clients, is there an age requirement to get on board, just in case we do have some clients who are multi-generational and they want to bring their family or kids on board?
So 12 years old across the board for Scenic and Emerald. If somebody has someone who's a little younger, they can call, we can have a conversation and see how well traveled they are, if it's right for them. But I'll tell you that for most of what we do, there's really not much for kids to do. So you don't find a lot of kids on board our ships.
Which is completely okay, because that means there's more space for everyone else. And speaking, just staying on the topic of groups and different client types, could you just speak on any solo traveler clients that any of our travel agents might be working with? Are there any accommodations for them or any promotions going on right now for solo travelers?
So we do have solo rooms on our river cruise vessels. I mean, they're very limited and hard to get a hold of, but they have no single supplement. We do charge a single supplement of 150% on average. And if there's some sailings where maybe 200%, but we're pretty aggressive with promotions. And we're also looking to welcome solo travelers on board because especially with river cruising, there's a pretty big draw for solo travelers. So I would say to any of our travel partners who are listening, if you have a solo traveler who's interested in traveling with us, reach out to your regional sales director, have a conversation. Let's find a way to get them on board at a price that makes sense for them.
That's great, and I appreciate the flexibility. I'm sure a lot of the travel agent clients do as well. For the groups, if they wanted to do something special on board, or a couple wanted to do something special on board, are there spaces for meetings or birthday celebrations or dinners or even weddings? I know that that's been a question that's been coming up in a lot of our webinars.
So interestingly enough, on those Emerald River Cruise vessels, we can convert the pool into a meeting room. So if you have a group or a part charter and they need that special space there, we can do that. On the Emerald yachts, we have a lounge at the front of the ship that we can do something small, not too big, maybe about 20, 25 people at the most. It's near the observation deck. It's the observation lounge. And on the Eclipse, we have a little more flexibility. It's a little more open. With the Scenic River Cruise vessels, we would just have to time it out right and do it in the lounge.
That is still very useful for if they want to do something that's a little bit more intimate. So that is great to know. And let's see. Okay, so we do have another question here, but regarding the crew members on board Scenic and Emerald, they're asking if there are other languages spoken, are the information on the board easily translatable, I guess, to other cultures that might be on board with you all?
So, I mean, in river across the board, it's English, unless you're dealing with one of the German operating companies or French operating companies, it's always in English. Now, most staff in the river cruise industry are Eastern European. And again, that's kind of across the board. That encompasses us and just about everybody else. With our yachts, we have a pretty diverse group of people on those vessels, but again, the primary language is going to be English. So this again would be one of those things where if you have a particular situation and a particular guest that may need something like that, reach out to myself or one of the other regional sales directors so that we can make sure we get those questions answered accordingly for that particular guest. Because you know what, there just might be somebody on board who speaks that language who can help out, but wouldn't necessarily be a designated onboard translator.
Great. No, that's good to know. So really get in contact with your team and make sure ahead of time that they understand what your client needs. That's very, very accommodating, and we appreciate that, Brendan. Now, to go to my favorite part of cruising is the cuisine on board, the food on board. I know that that's that's a great thing. And I know that you spoke about the different areas that are open throughout the day or that are a little bit more casual dining. Are for the other restaurants, are there reservations? Is it just walk-in dine-in? Could you just walk us through that for those who may have missed that portion?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the Eclipse is the only one that really needs to be touched on for this because the Eclipse has 10 restaurants. Now, I know that there are luxury lines where you have your included restaurants and then you have your restaurants you have to pay for. We don't have that. These are all elevated dining experiences that are included with the cruise. Now, some of them are only open for breakfast and lunch, and some of them are only open for dinner, and some of them are open breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The sushi bar, the French restaurant, and the teppanyaki, the night market, those require reservations. They are small dining areas. We do make sure that everybody has an opportunity to experience everything they came on to experience. Even if it's a 7-night selling and you want to try all 10 restaurants, you can do that. We'll make sure that you have the ability to do that. With the river cruise vessels, you'll find that dining is just like everyone else. You know, breakfast is from 7 a.m. until about 9:30 a.m. Lunch is typically from 1 to 2, 2:30, and then dinner is usually promptly at 7 till about 9.
So there's something for everybody, how they like to eat, or if they do want to go on that, we can call it like a food cruise on board the 10
Oh, yes.
restaurants.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Scenic Eclipse, the dining is so exceptional. It is unbelievable. Matter of fact, one of the awards we won last year was the best dining in Antarctica.
Oh, that's great. And you did mention that there are, it's local cuisine. Some are inspired by local cuisines. Is that correct?
Not in Antarctica, but on the river, yes.
On
I
the
don't
river.
know.
That's
I
where
don't
it
think
is.
there's a local cuisine in Antarctica. Fish,
Well,
well,
fish, different kinds of fish, you're right. And just to stay on the topic of food, for those people who may have dietary needs or need accommodations for gluten or vegan or vegetarian, are there certain restaurants that cannot make those adjustments, like in the food hall or anything like that, since those might be pre-made, or is it kind of we can make accommodations wherever you are?
we are so mindful. River, yacht, you name it. What we ask from our travel partners, please give us a heads up before they get on board so we can make a manifest remark. That way we have a heads up before they get on board. But not everybody remembers to tell you. We respect that. All they need to do when they get on board is talk to the maitre d' in that restaurant. Hey, I have a tree nut allergy. Please be mindful. I have a dairy allergy, or I need to eat gluten free. We are phenomenal with that stuff. We have to be. It's so competitive on the waters with handling matters like that. And we do excel at handling, be it allergies, gluten free, you name it. We're really good at it.
That's great to hear. And I'm sure all of the clients are very happy to hear that when they get on board so they can try all the different restaurants that you offer. And I guess, Brendan, just to hear, since you've been able to try all those restaurants, what would be your recommendation for or your favorite on board one of Scenic and then one of the river cruises?
Oh, with Scenic, you know what? I'll tell you, with Scenic, I went to the night market when it was Indian cuisine. And I love Indian food. I go out for it frequently. I have for many years. They served stuff I had never had anywhere, but all of the flavors were on point. So I would say if you can try that, try that. But I didn't get to try the Middle Eastern night. I love Middle Eastern food as well. If you can get in for that, I guarantee we won't disappoint. I've heard the sushi on board is phenomenal. I mean, I'm going to go into a lot because they're all so good. The French restaurant was so much fun. Our sommelier was like a stand-up comedian serving wine. He engaged us, he had us laughing, and he served the most incredible wines you will taste anywhere. With River, I mean, it's interesting. You know, I worked for a competitor for a very long time, and I didn't think anyone could do the food better than Scenic. And when I got on Scenic, I have to admit, my nose was kind of in the air a little bit. I was like, nope, they can't do it better. The food was better, and it was so good. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The types of cuisine that we serve, what we're serving from those regions, it just hits on that next level that, especially for foodies, and believe me, I'm a foodie. You will want to go back and have another cruise on a different river to have that elevated experience again. I'll share that when I was in Bordeaux, we had Chef Raymond Blanc come on board. Now, he's not going to come on board every ship and do this, but they had fresh oysters they had just brought in that morning, local oysters, and he had prepared them all with his own recipes and served them with champagne, and that was phenomenal. So we really do a lot to set ourselves apart. And again, since we're talking about cuisine, I will share on the yacht, the Emerald Yacht. I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to going out to eat. I don't really like buffets. It's not my thing. If I'm going to sit down at a restaurant, I want everything to be brought to me. When I'm on board that yacht, the food is so good, and what is up at the buffet is so phenomenal. I don't mind at all. It becomes part of that experience, that relaxed environment, but also that beautiful and elevated environment that surrounds you. So we really check a lot of boxes when it comes to dining experiences, and I'm talking about both brands. I've yet to go on an Emerald River cruise, so fingers are crossed that'll happen soon enough so that I can boast about that as well.
Being a foodie, boasting about all the different cuisines that you've tasted, that's what it's about, isn't it? To share your experiences. And so it sounds like on either the yacht or even on Scenic on the bigger boat, there you're going to experience good food, which is great to hear.
Absolutely.
And then last question, just here to wrap up. Could you speak about the accommodations on the smaller boat in regards to mobility or accessibility?
So with the Emerald yachts, if somebody has mobility challenges, it depends on how severe it is. Because One thing I didn't mention, and I'm glad you brought this up, is we don't really pull into a port. We're floating out in a bay. We're staying there until 11 p.m. instead of having to ship off at 6 o'clock, giving our guests more time to explore. So we do have a tender that is constantly going back and forth. Now, for people who aren't severely challenged with mobility, that tender has these hooks that lock onto the side of the ship and hold it in place. So getting on and off is a lot easier than stepping onto a tender that may be bobbing up and down while you're trying to get on and off of it. Now, the challenge there is there's about 4 steep steps that you have to get down. But you have amazing people there to hold you by the arm, make sure that there's someone up top and down below to help out. But again, this always comes down to, I've been on this side of the industry for over 12 years doing what I do. Always call your RSD, always call reservations, call and have a conversation with somebody and talk about your client. And you can even get us on the phone with your client, because I have put people who are wheelchair bound on river cruises because of the type of traveler they are. They knew what to expect going in, and they came back and shared their experience afterwards, and they had an amazing time. So when you get those clients, make sure that you have the right conversations with us and them. And again, if you need to bring us together, let's do that, because we want to make sure that this is right for them.
That's great to know that it's not they're not limited to what they can experience with you all, and that's great that you are open and willing to work with them ahead of time to make sure that they experience great things aboard. And Brendan here, just to close up, did you want to wrap up with any lasting words, any tips, any pointers for how to get your clients or their clients on board with Scenic and Emerald?
You know, I would say definitely reach out to myself or my colleagues. You know, it's just a very competitive industry, and a lot of people aren't very familiar with us, and they're used to selling particular brands. Get a hold of us, talk to us, learn some of those fine points that set us apart. And I'm always happy to help you so that you can convert your business. I think it's always very smart as a travel advisor to select the suppliers that you love and love to work with. We do offer FAM opportunities. Anything within 60 days of embarkation is fair game, and we have phenomenal rates for that. So get a hold of us so that we can help you become a great travel partner with us. And we are working so hard on our end to be a wonderful supplier for you. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking time out of your day today to listen to me talk about Scenic and Emerald.
Brendan, on behalf of the CLIA team here and all of our travel agents, we do want to thank you and appreciate you giving us an hour of your time this afternoon to share all the wonderful things Scenic and Emerald has to offer to the industry and to our clients. So with that, I want to just give you the rest of your day back, and hopefully our travel agents will be in contact with you very, very soon, and we'll see you aboard soon as well.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Enjoy. Have a good day.